Hi, Prosem. Today I'm going to talk about we as outsiders, the ethics in IEX. So, during our recce trip in Gili we had a conversation with some local fishermen, and they told us that sea turtles were actually a problem for them. Turtle eat corals, coral declines, fish population drops, and that directly hits their livelihood. Basically, they told us that they don't like sea turtles, let alone sea turtle conservation. And our immediate reaction wasn't really to sit with what they said, it was more of to see a gap where something we could potentially address. We didn't stop to ask whether we even had the legitimacy to be there as Singaporeans and Taiwanese, influencing how a community in Lombok thinks about their own environment. And we already assume and consider it wrong. So, looking back, that instinct itself somehow says about the assumption we brought in without realizing. And I want to bring up that there also a moment in one of our internal discussion where someone said we were here to help them as marginalized group. And honestly, I felt bad whenever we use the word because the word carries an assumption that we have what they're lacking and that we're arriving to fill the gaps they can't fill themselves. Although I chose not to say anything at that moment, yet that silence has stayed with me and I've always been reflecting on it since. And some might say, well, if the fisherman's perception is scientifically incorrect, then correcting it isn't imposing our culture, it's just sharing facts. And I get that, but after reflecting on it, I don't think that's quite right either, because their concern is grounded in real experience, not ignorance. And we were thinking about long term ecosystem health. They might were just thinking about this month, whether they can raise their family and feed them, and it's not me or our place to say one matters more than the other. Luckily, moving forward to when we actually set our project and start executing the project, what gives me more grounding is that we're not arriving with a ready made solution, and UNRWA and Ocean 5 as local community are the one actually shaping what we build in terms of the direction, the validation, and what the tool actually does. It addressed a gap that they, as local experts, identified, not we as outsider assumed, and that distinction matters to me, even knowing we're still the ones holding the budget. But it gives a grounding that the validation did actually came from the local community, and it's what they need and that what they want. Even now, we are not actively collaborating with the fishermen in our project. I haven't resolved the whole things. I'm still constantly thinking and reviewing on our legitimacy in this project in IEX as outsiders in Lombok. The framing matters, the language matters, and I think being aware of that is where the real work begins. In my next reflection video, I want to go deeper into the analysis side of this, looking at how I can actually self assess our approach and potentially some suggestions to the team and beyond.